Rise of the Tomb Raider by Crystal Dynamics is a direct sequel to the well-received Tomb Raider reboot that originally came out in 2013 and was re-released for next-gen consoles in early 2014. The story picks up shortly after the events of the first game, following Lara Croft's adventures on the Japanese island of Yamatai, along with the reception that she was met with back home. Go figure, the media didn't exactly believe her account of the events on the accursed island, simply writing her off as another crazy Croft. This portrayal of both her and her late father sets the stage for the events of the game, leading Lara on an expedition to finish her father's work and prove the world wrong. The core gameplay mechanics will feel very familiar to anyone who's played the 2013 reboot, but adds a lot of new features as well. In the previous installment, you would have to gather salvage materials, which were used to upgrade your weapons. However, in Rise of the Tomb Raider, the crafting system has been completely overhauled, with multiple types of crafting materials including animal pelts, feathers, metal ores, and wood. In addition to crafting weapon upgrades, you can use these various materials to craft new ammo types, satchels, and other equipment in order to increase the amount of ammo and materials that you can carry at once. All of these upgrades can be made at campsites, where you're also able to level up using skill points or fast travel to other campsites you've uncovered throughout the story. The game also features a new healing system, using crafting materials to create medicine that can be used on the fly. This is especially handy in combat. In terms of character progression, there's more skills to acquire, with a few tiers for each one, so you'll see yourself gaining skill points somewhat often throughout the course of the game, and over time you're able to improve these as you learn to survive and adapt to your environment and situations. New gameplay mechanics, such as the improved stealth system, coupled with the ability to craft different types of ammo and arrows, means being able to play the game you want to, whether that's a more stealthy approach or just going guns blazing. Returning from the previous game are the large hub areas, which feature numerous campsites, tombs, and now feature side missions as well. The inclusion of side missions across these hub areas adds a new layer of depth to the game, giving the player even more reason to explore and complete everything that they possibly can. While these side missions are completely optional, they give you the chance to unlock new gear and equipment that will prove helpful throughout the remainder of your adventure. For example, the first side mission you encounter in the game will grant you access to the lockpick, which is necessary for several locked doors and strongboxes. The game also features numerous tombs, both optional and story-related. Many tombs will offer unique rewards, including new abilities. In addition to all of this is the returning challenges system, in which you'll gain credits from different accomplishments throughout the game, while others are for completing a task a certain number of times. These challenges also tie into the game's new marketplace system, which can be accessed from the game's main menu. Using the credits earned via challenges, you can purchase card packs for various tiers for use in the game, which will grant different player bonuses or usable outfits. These cards aren't used for the campaign mode, however. Instead, they're used in the new Expeditions gameplay mode. In Expeditions, you choose from 3 different modes: Score Attack, Chapter Replay, and Chapter Replay Elite. In the replay missions, you can use the cards unlocked via the marketplace to change the gameplay experience, giving yourself specific character boosts. Rise of the Tomb Raider, like its predecessor, is very story-driven. This time around, there's much more focus on the narrative itself, with more cutscenes and even flashbacks to help flesh out Lara as a character and help show her experiences and motivations for going on this expedition. This emphasis on storytelling makes the game that much more captivating. The story is well-paced and nicely spaced out, with the chance to explore the hub areas, solve puzzle tombs, and find collectibles. Much like the first game, you'll find yourself returning to earlier areas of the game with your newer gear, which will help unlock areas that were otherwise inaccessible before. Graphically, the game is absolutely stunning. On screen, you can actually see a graphical comparison between the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition and the Rise of the Tomb Raider, both on Xbox One. The game runs very smoothly, and across my entire playthrough, I only encountered a couple technical glitches. At a couple points, the game locked up for several seconds, and I wasn't sure if the game had crashed or was just being a bit sluggish. At other times, notably when transitioning between the gameplay and in-game cutscenes, there would be a minor drop in frame rate, only for a couple seconds at most. Fortunately, this never occurred during playable sections, meaning that if there was a frame rate drop, it wasn't slowing down your actions. Other than this, there were a few times in which textures or models would pop in, such as bushes or rocks or anything kind of small that would just appear kind of suddenly and unexpected. It wasn't too common, but it was noticeable enough when it did take place. Overall, these glitches were minor and didn't detract from the game too much as a whole. Rise of the Tomb Raider releases for Xbox One and Xbox 360 on November 10th, 2015, with the PC version releasing in early 2016. The PlayStation 4 version is slated for release later in 2016. I personally really enjoyed the 2013 Tomb Raider game, having played it on PC, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Playing Rise of the Tomb Raider was a lot of fun, and I had a blast from start to finish. I'm not a huge fan of timed exclusives. Even being on Xbox One, where the game is being released first, I recognize and understand the issues with not releasing the game across all systems simultaneously. I personally think that making PlayStation 4 owners wait an entire year before the game's release will hurt the game's sales on the system, and I hope that Square Enix will be able to push up the release date a bit. That being said, the timed exclusivity deal with Microsoft probably prevents this as a possibility altogether. Despite my feelings on timed exclusivities, I highly recommend the game, even if you didn't get a chance to play the previous installment. In terms of narrative, Rise of the Tomb Raider doesn't rely too heavily upon the plot of the previous title, meaning that you'll be able to pick up and play the game without feeling lost in regards to the story. While I really enjoyed the game, I also realized that this might be a game that you might want to hold off on for a bit. The holiday season for games is absolutely crazy, and this week in particular has numerous AAA titles releasing on the same day. If you're not sure about Rise of the Tomb Raider, my recommendation would be to wait until early 2016. By that point, the holiday game craze will be over, giving everyone some time to breathe and catch up on games. Hopefully, the PC version will be right around the corner as well.